we got a pretty busy room already.
Yeah.
Wow, what's going on? Leo's here.
Yeah.
We got a pretty busy room. What's going on, Mike and George?
Hey,
How are you, sir?
happy Friday.
Yeah.
Happy Friday.
Wait, I got the first stream with StreamYard, don't I?
That's
Yeah,
right.
you do.
Oh man, I'm lucky.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Nah, wait.
I
George,
did
you
it.
did it. You did
I-
it last week.
I did it last week. Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'm the
This
second.
is your first stream with
Yeah,
Stream.
because we were supposed to use Hangouts, but we didn't. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what's going on, Mike? How was your week? How was your week, George?
Thank God it's Friday for me. And one quick question, Will. Did we have any issues starting this stream?
None at all.
No drama that Hangouts brought us.
Nah, the link wasn't. I wasn't redirected too many times. I don't think you were. I don't think you were, George.
All we're saying is the guys at StreamYard are doing a great job.
Yeah, definitely. See, I see Phone Tech at work. Wow, got here first.
Oh, he was first. Yes, I said Allen for the win.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm just catching up some of the comments here.
We got the tech leads in here. We got Gary in here. Yeah,
cool.
We got Ms. Lisa in here. Leo for Android Studies in here. Of course, Nigel and Six are both here. So welcome all.
Yeah, we got a pretty busy room. Yeah, Mike, we ain't had no problems. This is too easy.
This is yeah.
It's too easy.
Or as they say in Jamaica, no problem, man.
Yeah, definitely.
And,
I caught. I don't know if I don't know if you guys caught. If you can catch Bon Bagnell's last stream on Hangouts, it was quite interesting. Some of the things he was talking about.
Really?
Yeah.
He was on for about 3 hours, right?
3 hours. I've been listening to him on my way to work and the way home.
Still ain't done, right?
One day stream is about 2 hours, I think.
Yeah. So, but it was some interesting things in it, and in true style, when I streamed on Wednesday, it was typical, wasn't it, Will?
Oh yeah. It was it was Google,
Yep. So.
Oh, I should warn you, Mike. Occasionally, you might hear a notification that I get on my computer. Mm-hmm. But I want to keep using this microphone because it's the only way I can do this.
Yeah, George is using that Stream Deck, boy.
Yeah, Stream Deck for the win, as they say, right?
Exactly. So I guess you could say I'm all decked out.
But okay.
Yeah. Oh man.
So wait a minute. Okay. Guys, here we go. I'm turning the page.
All right.
Nothing's happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I guess we can start with that, right?
I was gonna say I'm still my mind's kind of blown a little bit.
Now wait. Now see, your mind shouldn't be that blown because LG did that already.
That's right.
LG
but
did
no,
it.
Google did it. So it's okay. We all poke fun at LG for doing it, and Google does it, and it's okay.
It's different, Mike.
It's okay.
Because LG did it, but before that, Samsung had it on the S4, and I think somebody else had it. But LG's, we haven't seen all the Googles yet, but LG's is ridiculous.
Yeah, LG.
You gotta hold your hand like this and move it a certain. That's. Yeah. But Google's has a problem too, and I guess y'all probably heard about it. I'm sure George did.
You're gonna read the first story.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Let me see. First story is gonna be from The Verge. The Google Pixel 4. It's gonna have Face Unlock. There go Gary. Gary said we gotta go to the Pixel. All right. Let me get the screen up.
The tech leads are saying StreamYard looks good.
All right. Screen's up, right?
Yep.
All right. The Google Pixel 4 will unlock using a face scan. Project Soli also confirmed as Google can't stop pre-announcing stuff. Google just can't stop talking about the Pixel 4 ahead of its presumed October launch. In a YouTube video and blog post, the company revealed that the phone will have face unlock technology instead of a fingerprint sensor. Google also revealed that the Pixel 4 will have a feature called Motion Sense, which confirms that it will have a Project Soli chip that uses radar to detect hand gestures near the phone. Adding Face Unlock puts the Pixel 4 on par with modern iPhones for unlocking, and at least in theory, more convenient than in-screen fingerprint sensor. It's also another example of Google raising the stakes on itself. If the Pixel's Face Unlock isn't as fast or as secure as the iPhones, that's going to be a huge problem. Most attempts at Face Unlock on Android phones use just a selfie camera and were insecure and inaccurate, though recently a few have tried more advanced ways. Google couldn't help but take a small swipe at the iPhone while it can. Right now, Face ID doesn't work unless the phone is right side up. But Apple already overcame this limitation on the iPad Pro and might offer the same flexibility with its 2019 iPhone lineup. Google also confirmed that the Pixel 4 will use the Face Unlock feature for payments. Face Unlock works in almost any orientation, even if you're holding it upside down, and you can use it for secure payments and app authentication too. As with the iPhone, Google says that biometric data will be stored locally in a secure chip and never shared with other Google services. Then there's a video. Pretty sure everybody saw that on Twitter or YouTube. The Pixel 4's Face Unlock feature will use a variety of sensors to identify your face, including depth, infrared, and RGB. That should mean that it will work in a variety of lighting situations and also work with a diverse set of faces. Google has told me that it has done field research to ensure both these things. And I think last week we talked about it.
They were paying people to take a picture of their face or something.
Yeah, $5 or a gift card. Yeah. Looking at the image below, what you won't see is a second front-facing camera. The Pixel 3 and 3 XL had an ultra-wide selfie shooter that could capture more of your surroundings or cram more people into the photo. But Google seems to be moving away from that strategy this year. The Pixel 3a has a single front-facing camera with a wider field of view than the Pixel 3's regular one. So maybe Google will carry that over to Pixel 4.
Check out those sensors.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
We got a Face Unlock IR camera, front-facing camera, ambient light / proximity sensor, the audio port, solely radar chip, Face Unlock dot projector, Face Unlock IR camera, and a Face Unlock flood illuminator. And that's why that bezel is going to be pretty big.
Yeah.
Here's how Google describes the features in its YouTube description. The Pixel 4 is in the works. Here's an early look at some of the new tech coming to next generation Pixels this fall. This tech enables 2 new features, Motion Sense and Face Unlock, helping you to get things done without having to touch it. As for the Motion Sense feature, there's not a ton that we can glean from Google's article. Earlier rumors have pointed to it being related to Project Soli, which uses radar to detect tiny hand or finger movements above the device. For example, Google has demoed rubbing your thumb and index finger together to simulate turning a dial on a smartwatch. Some code found in the next version of Android has suggested it can be used for media controls at the very least. Google's blog post says, the Pixel 4 will be the first device with Soli, powering our new Motion Sense features to allow you to skip songs, snooze alarms, and silence phone calls just by waving your hand. These capabilities are just a start, and just as Pixels get better over time, Motion Sense will evolve as well. Google's post cites as a possible use case where the Soli chip could detect your hand reaching for the phone, which would automatically turn on the Face Unlock sensors. If it all works, the phone would automatically unlock itself and be ready by the time you're looking at it. We first tried Soli back in 2015 when Google expected to launch it in products like smartwatches and speakers. Instead, in its first commercial launch, is coming in Google's next flagship phone. So, what do y'all think? We know Mike was amazed because Mike just watched the video before.
I didn't get a chance. Okay, and these are the front glass in this picture here.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that. Look at that bezel. I don't want that phone. The bezel is huge. I want my notch back. Oh.
Look what you're getting.
I know. It's just, I just didn't, I'm a little snarky about it. You know what I mean? People are going to get all bent out of shape because it's got a big bezel, but come on. What else can you do here?
A
You know,
Jersey guy being snarky. What a surprise.
yeah, but you know, but it's the first attempt, so of course they're going to want to perfect it first. And
And they're
Google
going to try their best to beat
Yeah, they're gonna go with
Apple
Apple.
at it too.
Yeah.
But they got to get it right. They got to get it right because they've had egg on their face over the screens and how the RAM issue was on the last one.
But you gotta the Pixel 3, there was no screen issue. They always have their software. They always have their software glitches. They always do. But
then the 3 ain't have any glitches.
But listen, their fingerprint sensor has always been good.
Yeah.
Their camera's always been good. They're not gonna flop at this. This is gonna come out and be incredible. The thing is, everybody's gonna say, not everybody, but YouTubers are gonna be like, y'all are giving Google a pass on what everybody called a gimmick on the LG phone.
Yeah,
because LG did the same. And LG's was more advanced because LG's was reading your veins or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and you were able to unlock your phone with it. I think if Forbes is here, Forbes will be letting us know right now.
Okay.
Forbes,
I mean, everybody who likes that LG G8 in their videos, every single one of them had problems with the hand gestures.
Yeah. Well, but the problem with Google's, and I guess you probably seen it, George. I don't know if Mike did. I know Mike's always running around on Twitter. I don't know which one of them it was, but basically, if you looked at the fine print, I forget on one of their things, it's only going to work in certain countries that gesture because it's radar. So that's going to be kind of a drawback.
And in some countries, it may be illegal. Who knows?
That's what they're saying, that certain places it won't work. So what he was saying was if you leave and go to another country, it might not work anymore until you come back. If you're in one of the countries where it doesn't work, the hand gestures, you know what I mean? So that is kind of a little bit of
any word on a fingerprint sensor of any kind?
No, they're saying
no. There's not going to be any fingerprint sensor whatsoever.
Well, wait a minute. If the radar don't work, which is part of that whole setup to unlock the phone, right? I would think.
No. The radar is just for the
gestures. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's no fingerprint sensor on the iPhone. It's not a problem. So
no, he thought that the radar was unlocking the phone. The radar is for the gestures.
Yeah.
Have you ever, George? Or Will? You neither of you has ever had a problem with the iPhone's unlock?
It's been perfect for me all the months I've had it. Always.
Wow.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think they changed like the animation or something on it to make it seem like it unlocks faster now. And I think when there's an error, the method to get it to redo it is a little more seamless. But I never had a big issue with it.
Yeah.
Got you.
It always works, even in the dark. That's what I like about it. It works in the dark.
So if they take the phone to a country where it doesn't work, it just won't be so handy anymore.
Yeah, there you go. George, where's your drum at? You got I don't got no stream deck, so you got to
that would work. That would work. That would be the perfect time to have that. But yeah.
He's got it. He just didn't hit it on himself.
Come on, man.
Don't you hear it? You don't hear it?
Nah.
I think we talked over it.
I think you talked over it. Listen.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but let me see. Gary said LG used the camera, Google's using radar. I thought LG used something else because it was reading your vein or something. I thought they had something else.
No, I think they were using the camera for that, though. I think he's right.
Okay. Well, yeah, but we'll see. This is gonna work, Mike. I think this is gonna work. I don't think they'll have a problem with this face unlock and the gesture thing. I think their problem is gonna be the usual Google glitches and all that in the beginning. Because even with the Pixel 3,
they gotta come out. They gotta come out of the gate strong.
No,
they can't have any problems.
You gotta wonder: is it a RAM thing or is it just software stuff going on? You know what I mean?
It's old after a while.
It does get old, but it's new, so that's the price you pay for buying it on release. everybody has something. Look at OnePlus had, their camera issues and they release all them updates. Everybody has something. But we'll see. Google's problem is going to be when they put it out and it's $9.99.
Yeah.
That's going to be their problem.
$3.99.
Yeah, that's going to be their problem. It's $9.99 unless they throw in a watch with it or something, or do a crazy trade-in deal. That's what they should do.
You mean like a Samsung?
Yeah, they got to get like Samsung and give you $500 or $600 to, But we'll see. 6 gigs of RAM will fix the issues, and Q is not a heavy skin. That's what Gary said. Yeah, well, yeah, they're coming. I think they're doing the 6 gigs of RAM though because they wanted to be able to do like that lady showed on the stage when she was talking to Google Assistant and she was able to just keep going through.
Yes.
Remember? Yes. Where she was like, show me the calendar, show me the map, show me my pictures, send a text message, do an email, and it just kept going. I think that's why they're putting that RAM in it. Because supposedly all that's supposed to be done on the device. It's not supposed to be sent to the server.
It doesn't go to any
cloud. All be done on the device.
Yep.
And that feature is only that speed or whatever is only coming to the new Pixel because of that RAM.
Yeah.
Like she was able, I don't know if you remember, Mike, she was able to talk to Google Assistant and say like, what's the weather today? And then just keep talking. She never said, okay, Google again. She asked it to send an email. She asked it to like do like 10 things.
And she kept doing one after the other, and it just kept right up with it.
But also I say too is Google Assistant and that whole hey G, dude, give me this, give me that. I think that's also improving too.
Of course it is.
That's always improving.
Yeah. Well, like we were saying before, I was telling you they're adding a 911 thing where you'll be able to call 911 and the call screen or whatever. Duplex is gonna be able to speak for you. Like it's gonna come on and talk to the person and you can read it and it'll say this is I forget how it said it. This is a voice assistant. The person, somebody called 911 there at this address. It's gonna go through and basically give all the information you would want. What's up, George?
My sick mind you were saying Duplex would talk to the police for you. My sick mind Flip Wilson and said, "You better get over there, honey. He's in trouble."
George is crazy. Yeah, like that's crazy though to think that it's gonna be able to, because a lot of times people call 911 if you're getting beat or somebody got a gun to your head, you can't talk. That's
I've had a gun to my head and kept talking, and I said, "Go ahead and pull the trigger because you're not shutting me up." The guy took the gun away from my head. And said, "You're too crazy."
George is from a movie.
Yeah,
this was back in the 70s, and I was working with a bunch of guys, 30 guys.
You sound like Bruce Willis.
I was going to call him Chuck Norris.
Yeah,
okay.
Right?
we got the side version of Chuck Norris over here. You know what I mean?
George is like yippee-ki-yay.
And I'm not going with the next two words there.
George is like yippee-ki-yay, like Die Hard. George.
Yeah.
Except you wouldn't see me walking around my feet bleeding all over the place.
Right. Yeah. Did you see it, Mike? Did you find it?
What's that?
I thought you were looking for the 911 thing.
No, there was. Hold on, back here.
Folks were easily distracted.
Yeah. Google Assistant now can read and reply to messages from WhatsApp, Google Voice, and others. And it mentions, that's what I'm talking about. Google Assistant has been able to read SMS texts as sent over the native message app or Hangouts, which is dying. But billions of other users around the world rely on other messaging services for their daily communication.
Okay.
And those apps, as far as we know, were off limits for assistant reading ability. Some let you know sent but not read. That's no longer the case now. Previously, if you told Google Assistant, read my messages, it will only read the SMS text messages and skip over plenty of incoming communications from apps such as WhatsApp, Telegram, Slack, Discord, GroupMe, and so on.
Cool.
Apparently, our tipster this has changed in the past couple of days. The assistant will not read text from these apps aloud, but also let you answer them. Okay, we'll just not that. They will
not the text alone, but
okay. To try to start saying, read my messages to the assistant. If you hadn't already, you have to grant Google app notification access for this to work. A card pops up with the last text message and reads it aloud, including the app it's coming from and the name of the sender. If you then given the option to type or dictate a reply, when the message when done, the answer is immediately sent to the original message and marked as read. The notification goes away.
I think it's very cool that they're integrating them with those other apps.
Well, it goes with some of the things that's going more. That's what I'm getting at. You've got hand gestures, you got face unlock, you've got verbal commands that Google is going to be able to do.
And Gary Brown is saying something you'll like, Will. He says, I think Pixel 4 is the beginning of Google separating the Pixel from Android. And you'll like that.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully, but
I don't know. So I just found out just this whole thing with this Pixel 4 coming out. I was sitting there, folks, like this.
Yeah,
wow.
One of you guys need to buy me a Pixel 4, because as long as I have a Pixel 3, I'm not spending Pixel 4 money.
Don't worry, Google's gonna make sure you don't. Google's gonna make sure you don't want to spend the money when
all right, we need a hashtag for George to get a Pixel, just like how Alan Anthony gets a part of Pixel.
Can I tell you something? You can pressure Will into stuff. Old folks like me, we don't budge. We're old. And
well, I mean, get Google to send you one.
Sure, that'll work.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Be part of the Pixel team. Pixel team or Team Pixel.
Team Pixel. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm already a Google fanboy. It'll make me a lot bigger one. You can count on that. That's right. Will knows how to get free pixels.
Yeah. Let Google mess up their. Let Google mess up with their billing. But all right, let me see. Where do we want to go next? Who wants to take the next one? I don't care what order y'all going. Y'all know we got Xiaomi, stock price.
I'll take the next one.
All right.
Okay. This one comes up. Okay. All right, let me share the screen. Okay. Over here. Okay. The screen share, and you can put it up for me.
I got you.
Okay. This is from TheVerge.com. Google discovered several iPhone security flaws, and Apple still hasn't patched them. Google security researchers have discovered a total of 6 vulnerabilities in Apple's iOS software, one of which the iPhone manufacturer has yet to successfully patch. ZDNet reports that the flaws were discovered by 2 Google Project Zero researchers, Natalie Silvanovic, I said it right, and Samuel Robb, and 5 of them were patched with last week's iOS 12.4 update. As soon as I saw that update and I read this story, I updated my phone, which contains several security fixes. All of the vulnerabilities discovered by the researchers are interactionless, meaning they can run without any interaction from a user. That's scary. And they exploit a vulnerability in the iMessage client. 4 of them, including the as yet unpatched vulnerability, rely on an attacker sending a message containing malicious code to an unpatched phone and can execute as soon as the user opens the message. The remaining 2 rely on memory exploit. Details of the 5 patch bugs have been published online, but the final bug will remain confidential until it can be addressed by Apple. What that says to me is they haven't figured out how to fix it, so they're refusing to talk about it. Regardless, if you haven't updated your iPhone to iOS 12.4, now might be a good time. Sylvanovic will host a talk on internationalist iPhone attacks at next week's Black Hat Security Conference in Las Vegas. We're lucky that these vulnerabilities were discovered by security researchers who had no interest in exploiting them for their own benefit. ZDNet notes that bugs like these are invaluable to manufacturers of intercept tools and surveillance software, and the right buyer would likely pay millions for access to them before Apple is able to patch its software in defense. By disclosing these bugs to Apple, these security researchers have done a service to iOS users worldwide. And when I saw the Black Hat Security, that's what I was thinking. These are guys who started out as hackers. They've become some of the best friends to all of us who are online in anything, because these guys do a great job at finding this stuff, in my opinion. So,
yeah, I'm just asking folks. I don't know. I saw Flossie is out in Vegas right now. Is he there?
For the Black Hat
conference? I don't know. It's just I just wanted to throw. I'm like going, oh, maybe that's why he's out there.
Well, Flossie's never been a hacker type. Or at least he's never posted anything.
Right.
As far as I know. But Flossie's become big. He's got like what? Like $750,000.
I don't know, if he could get in, maybe getting into something different, but I just found it unusual, just something that, caught my eye though.
Yeah.
But it's interesting now. Google's security research.
Yeah.
Google security research found the flaw.
Right.
That's different.
It's cool. At least it says they're not just looking out for Google stuff. That's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they do have a stake in it because they got a lot of their Google services.
Exactly. So that's just forward thinking.
So.
That's forward thinking on their part, in my opinion.
Right. So
Go ahead.
I'm just like thinking, where's all the people, say, iOS is more secure. iOS is more secure than an Android. I mean, again, that's why I always say not one is better than the other one. They're all.
They put these bounties out, and somebody's gonna find something wrong because they get crazy money to find these
problems.
Right. The bounty stuff started with these Black Hat guys because these guys will actually go find the problems for them. So the bounties are worth the money, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, because if Google or whoever doesn't put it out, then somebody who wants to do something evil is going to be the one paying.
Exactly. So anyway, I think the Black Hat guys are a great bunch of guys, although they probably didn't start out that way.
I not to change subject, but real quick. But Will, you got Visible now.
Yeah.
And you have RCS
all along.
Huh?
I could see Bill along. He's always been visible to me.
Look at you. Yeah. Yeah. What'd you say, George? Mike?
You have RCS.
Yeah, I don't got it yet, but I think because I'm on the beta, because everybody's saying that it's working.
Well, you need to tell people what Visible is for one.
The 40. It's the Verizon MVNO.
Okay.
It's like $40 a month. I'm trying to get Mike to get it. If you
I'm
get on
gonna
it
get
now,
it.
if you get on it now, it's $40 a month. You get hotspot. You get unlimited data. They don't throttle it, but your data is supposed to be capped. But my speeds are pretty good. I'm getting I got 50. I forget. I put it in the chat. 50 something down. Upload isn't that good though. My upload's been varying. I've been in the 20s down to 5, but the speeds have been good. It's Verizon's network.
You did this one here. Will,
yeah, I showed you that one, and I just did another one. Mm-hmm. I got 50, 55, 50 something, 54.
That's
something.
A whole lot better.
Yeah. The speeds have been good. The service is good. On the Pixel, I got visual voicemail. So for 2 months, it's $80, and then they give you $100 gift card. So basically, it pays for itself.
Cool.
And yes, Will. So I got a little sidetracked. I was going to look into it and order the card, but when we're done here, I'll be messing around getting that ordered up because I want to try that out.
They're gonna overnight it to you too.
You said that. So yeah, I'm gonna sign up for it and try and get on that. You know, heck, they're pretty much paying you after 2 months.
Yeah,
You get your money back and then some. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, you gave me that, and you gave me that referral code, right?
Yeah.
So what's that going to do for you? Get another 20?
I think you get 20 and I get 20.
Okay.
So you can both see because it's 2020.
Yeah, I was gonna try it a while ago. What's his name? Jay Johnson. Remember, Mike? We had him on before a couple times. He had posted about it on Twitter, but when he posted about it, they were only accepting iPhones.
Right.
Yeah.
But now they got it all set up where you can buy a phone from them or bring your own. So,
but it's still only a certain list of phones. Yes.
Yeah, you have to before you do it, IMEI in, and then they tell you if your phone is compatible.
Exactly.
But it looks like they're taking pretty much not everything. Oh, Gary said that I keep my number.
Yeah, he could keep his number, but he's
Can though.
Okay.
So I wonder. Well, like I got the LG. I'll fire up the LG. That's unlocked.
They're gonna ask you for the SIM.
The IME.
Yeah.
But yeah, you probably can put the IMEI from anything, and then as long as I think that just gets them to send you the card.
Right?
I think that just gets them to send you the SIM card.
So, yeah.
So now you haven't had this more than a day yet, have you?
Yeah, just a day.
Okay.
Just got it. Yeah, they overnight you the card in this big envelope.
So are you thinking if this is as successful as you think it is, that you'll be leaving AT&T and sticking with that?
Yeah.
It's looking quite promising. He's been talking about it for a while. So,
yeah.
Well, the big thing is AT&T hit you with access fees, right?
Oh yeah, AT&T charges you access fees and all kind of taxes. That I was laughing because somebody on Twitter said he was like, he said if you want to find somebody who cheats you more than AT&T, go to Verizon.
Yeah, and I've always said for years and years that the two greediest were Verizon and AT&T in that order.
Yeah.
So, Will, is the taxes including that 40, or is that 40 and then taxes?
Just $40, I believe. Let me see what they took.
So he's saying including taxes.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's including?
Mm-hmm. Let me make sure. Hold up. I don't know. I just paid it. Yeah, just $40.
Wow.
Yeah, 40.
Okay.
Yeah, I just set it up on my PayPal account. It was easier.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, definitely. So.
Okay, now.
Go ahead. What do you got?
We need to. You have a line in here about what it took, so you need to tell us about it because we have no story on it.
What did it take for you to delete this account that you were?
Well,
first tell the people what.
I'm about to. Okay, I'll try not to get too much into the long of the story, but I bought my mom an iPad mini, and she didn't really care for iOS anymore. She wanted her old tablet, but I had to get her a new Android tablet.
But she loves her Android.
Oh, she loves her. I don't know if she's in the room. Mom, if you're here, tell everybody how much you love your tablet.
Yes, lady.
But hey, easy. How you doing, Eric? Glad you're here.
Eric, you can see we're on our wonderful, we're having our live stream thanks to you. So thank you again.
Yes. Thank you, Eric. So I figured all right, I've been toying with the thought of trying to, get my Pat, my wife, over to iOS. And I thought, all right, tablet. Here, play with it. It's bigger screen. You can play your games. You can take it on travel. I'll give you a hotspot. I'll hook you up on a hotspot. Yeah, it was Wi-Fi only. No, shut that down. So I set up a Apple account for my wife, and I'm like she ain't never going to use it. She absolutely said, nope, Android for me, Apple is not. I said, okay. So I went through the process of going through here. Oh, wow, it booted me out. Huh. I saved the Windows. It told me, I guess the process is done. It was like you told it, okay, I want to delete this account. Oh, by the way, to find it, I had to Google I had to Google, and Mac Rumors had a thing in there just this year on how to delete it, and it was like a process to try and find. There's nowheres in the website showing you where to delete your account. Okay, yeah, they don't recognize it now. You don't have an Apple ID, so it's finally went through.
Okay.
But that whatever day I post, I forget. It's been probably about 4 days. I've been waiting for it, and now I see all the windows are closed. They've signed me out.
Okay, so now they're saying you don't have an Apple ID. I thought you had an iPhone somewhere.
No, for my wife. I set it up under my wife.
Okay, gotcha.
I set it for her. I wanted her own account in case things took off.
Okay.
So meanwhile, I'm like going and trying to find this one spot to go and delete it. And it was like, okay, terms of service, terms of understanding that you're deleting his account. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, you sign a terms of service to get the service, then you got to sign for a terms of service to leave the account. I just found that it really bizarre.
Sounds like their way of saying you don't really want to leave us, dummy.
Yeah. Oh, George, you hit it on the head. It was one attempt after another, basically trying to say, "You sure about doing this?
Yeah.
You don't want, you could always just, close out some things and you got all your important stuff on the iCloud. I mean, granted, it's thinking about that you've had, an Apple account for a long period of time. I
just had a thought. If you ever open an Apple ID in your wife's name again, you're probably going to get a terms of service that in huge letters. I told you so. Yeah.
I just wanted to share. I'm sorry. I thought the windows would stay open because the way it's explained to me was that it's going to take quite some time for your data to go away.
Yeah.
And it was like, really? And they were like, don't close the windows. That's why I was saying, they told me, leave the windows open. I did. Yeah. I've done it. I did it Monday.
Yeah.
It was a Monday.
It's Friday.
I sold the tablet, and I said, okay, I got to get rid of this. I figured it'd take the time to get rid of her account, but it was just one thing after another, and you read about our other favorite subject we like to talk about, Facebook. It is supposedly all your data never really goes away from Facebook.
Exactly. Now, Mike, since you brought that up, I downloaded my pictures already from Facebook. I got them.
And we'll share with everybody. What are you going to do?
I'm ready to pull the plug. That's all I got to do is pull the plug. That's all I need from there is my photos.
Well, at least at Facebook, you can delete your account easy enough.
You got to search for it though. For delete, they let you deactivate it pretty easy.
Oh, I've seen delete. I just never delete mine.
Find it. It's kind of, and I think they have like some kind of weird thing, like Mike was saying, where it takes a while before they actually delete it.
I don't know. And like I said, the finding it's not like everything's there to purchase, everything's there to get a service, everything's there, but to delete that account was
torture.
It was, it was a little unusual. Let me see. How to delete. Hold on. A Apple ID account.
Mike, Gary said Apple is like Ike Turner. You ain't leaving without a butt whooping.
There you go. I was thinking it's like Chuck Norris. If he wants to talk to you, he'll show up at your house. If we want your account deleted, we'll do it for you.
See, I just got this how to delete or deactivate your Apple ID account. This is where I got the information from.
Now 6 is saying you can delete it, but they give you the options for 30 days for you to activate it again. Yeah.
This is May of 2018. This article, and it's under. I guess you go to Apple ID and privacy, and then you hit continue, and it goes on from there. But there's nothing there. Oh yeah. Here we go. I think the deletion terms and conditions.
Okay.
By deleting your account, you agree to the following.
You should share that screen.
It just scrolls on forever. All right, I've never done this before, so
at the bottom, share screen.
At the bottom, share screen. Okay,
you see where it has
right next to Leaf Studio.
Stop cam, mute.
It's between Leaf Studio and settings.
You see it?
Yeah, but let's see.
Click
now
on
I gotta, it.
You gotta click on it.
Oh, he means you gotta find it.
Okay.
Is
it there now?
Yep.
Yep. There you go. There you go.
There we go. I did it. Yay!
There you go.
I think you need to go to OBS.
Shut up.
We know what the easy stuff is now.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But it just went on. Yeah. That was the other thing. You had to get an access code. Then put the access code. And then they told you, hold on to the access code if you ever decide to want to come back, because this is what's going to get you back in.
Okay.
I don't know. It wasn't like the time that bothered me. It was just like I'm scrolling through here. All these things, all these prompts I'm showing you is what it took to
the activation terms. That's amazing.
Yeah, I thought, are you kidding? Okay,
that's like the second time was please enter the access code to continue.
Yeah, I think I had to enter it twice.
Wow.
So it was something. Oh yeah, if you do not sign out before your account deactivated. Okay, now here, right here. Please sign out of your devices. Okay, I did. Yes, that's right. I would have thought something else. It spelled it out. Like, you got to leave these windows open. Don't close these windows. Don't get out of these the tabs I have, the tabs here. And I'm like, oh, okay, I won't close nothing. I didn't leave nothing, but I guess
it's like our lawmakers. They're mostly lawyers. We're going to make this as complicated as we can. Well, Apple's saying we're going to make this as hard and complicated as we can make it.
At the last line here, these new options satisfy the requirements of the European Union's new General Data Protection Regulation.
Yeah.
Enforceable starting May 25th, but Apple plans to make them available around the world.
Yeah.
And there was one other thing up here. It was found right here. While any customer anywhere can delete an Apple ID account, Apple says the ability to deactivate an Apple ID account is limited to accounts with locations set in the European Union, Iceland. George, how do you say that word?
I can't see it. It's too small from here.
Okay. Hold on. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Whoops. Did it make it bigger?
Yeah. You got to see more.
A little bit more. Okay. Now. European Union, Iceland, Liechtenstein.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Norway and Switzerland. Apple intends to roll out the deactivation option around the world in the coming months.
Okay.
So this is just from last year.
Right.
I guess if this was before then, I guess they really had a tough time. You know what I mean?
And before that, I guess if you're in the United States, you weren't deleting crap. That's what it sounds like to me.
So I'm going to stop sharing. So I'm just going to do that for now. But anyway, yeah, that was. I mean, it wasn't much. I just wanted to share everybody what in God's green earth you had to go and delete. I mean,
you shared the adventure.
Yeah, yeah. It now makes me think about, like, I keep on getting notices because my wife, long ago set up an account to play her games, and I still get her notifications about. There's these prizes you're getting. She's not playing the game anymore.
Right.
But I'm going through unsubscribe hell right now. I'm trying to unsubscribe to all these emails, and they keep on still coming back.
Yeah.
I think I'm unsubscribed to some, but they still keep on coming back, and they make it impossible.
You need to tell them, my wife doesn't need your prizes. She's got me. That's all you have to tell them.
I need a stream deck because after that one,
oh wait, okay, here.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
Man.
They all make it hard for you to.
Yeah, but that's the hardest I've ever seen by a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Apple's got to cover all the bases.
Yeah.
I was listening to one of the podcasts. I forget what they were talking about. Basically, they were saying that those end user license agreements. They were talking about one of them wasn't for Facebook. It was for something, but they were saying like one of the guys was saying in their country like they can't even make those stick. Like you can't have an end user agreement like that that's not on paper. You have to actually sign it.
Okay.
So, I think it was for like the Face app or one of those type of things. They were saying, it was for Face app. He was saying like everybody's so worried about it, but he was like in his country that doesn't even like that.
Not even
he was like it doesn't even matter. He was like you can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They put all that stuff in there. They know nobody's reading all that.
Yeah.
They know it, and that's just like if you like. I think it's like with Windows or computer software. If you don't accept it, you can't get the software.
No.
Exactly.
No.
You have no. It's either you accept it or.
And that's universally true, but I'm thinking because there's so much attention on that kind of thing, I'm thinking that may change at some point where you can say, no, I don't accept it, but you'll still get access to at least some degree.
Yeah. Or maybe everything's going to start having, like the phones got with the privacy settings, like, do you want to allow?
Yeah, and that would be a smart thing to do, I think. So. Mike's reading something. I can tell. I can smell. I mean, I can hear.
I thought maybe I actually printed the actual the terms of service, but I did. I saved the access code, and that was it. No, I don't have it. I thought I did. I should have done it.
You probably didn't want to cut down the forest to print those terms of service.
No, I didn't want to print it. I was just going to put it on my Google Drive, like I was looking at. Okay.
All right, we go to the next story.
Mike, I asked Emily what phone she's using. She can't remember. So I asked
I love you, Emily. Wait, I love you, Emily, but don't take this the wrong way. See, did we talk about this before?
Yes, we did. Yes, and you were the one that came up with that story too about people not even knowing the brand.
Now, they don't know.
She said you did a review on it. I told her if you helped her.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
It must be a Motorola phone.
No, I didn't. I did actually. Wait a minute. I did do a review on that phone she has, but not that phone of hers.
What is it? A Motorola?
Yeah, it is.
I know, Mike. I know.
G5.
G5S or G5 Plus.
Okay.
Mike isn't giving nobody no recommendation if it's not Motorola.
That's right. You want a phone? Motorola. Can you recommend one? Motorola. Well, what about Motorola? But what about Apple? No, Motorola.
Everything is Motorola.
I can't find the box. I don't know the box anymore. Emily was my first guinea pig that
I remember.
Well, for the Alcatel Idol 3.
And that broke, right? She broke it or something. Something happened.
No. That's her stepfather, Tom. He likes to break phones.
That's funny. With my Alcatel Idol 3, I ended up breaking the SIM card tray. No, the SD card tray.
No way, really?
Yep.
No, I have to give her props. She just wore hers out. It just.
Good.
She said she's not that bad. She doesn't break the phone, George.
No,
exactly.
No, she don't. She downloads stuff that that I get. Oh, Uncle Mike, I get this is doing this, and I happen to have to go down to South Carolina and go and like wipe her phone clean.
Yeah. I have a little miracle for you.
What's that?
And then you see all the phones behind me as always. There's one less today.
Share. Well,
Neighbor night before last, he uses his phone for work, and he had an old Moto, the Verizon Droid phone, the Moto.
Wow.
I gather he's dropped it 4 or 5 times. Well, it was totally not working. He could turn it on, the screen wouldn't light up. We couldn't even copy the data. So he came over here. I actually sold him the Moto Z2 Play, and he loved it because it looked just like the one he had. And I gave him the speaker mod, which blew his mind. And
Awesome.
so I actually sold the phone. So it does happen occasionally, very rare.
And what else did you do, George?
I ordered a phone today.
What?
So
we'll get to that in a couple of stories. Okay.
it cancels itself out.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so when Mike reads the next story, I'll read the one after that because that will affect me directly.
Okay. So, Mike, you can read either Apple and Samsung, Google. We did that one, right?
Yeah, we did that.
I just want to ask, guys. I did find Carl Pay's story, and it wasn't so much his backstory, but some of the things he talks about. I wanted to talk about. So I just want to say that maybe towards the end, if we could.
Oh, we can talk about it now if you want to.
I don't want to take this mojo away. I can't get over. You sold a phone.
I was thinking about buying a phone, and I sell a phone once every 2 years, maybe. That was the last time I sold one. And so since I was able to sell a phone, I'm like, okay, I guess I can go ahead and buy this phone.
I love this. I love this. This is so good. And George, what kind of phone did you sell your neighbor?
A Moto.
Yes.
Don't ask me what I bought because you'll be disappointed.
That's okay. You got that's right. Just spread the love of Motorola. Yay.
Yes. My neighbor's walking around saying, I got my Moto working. Okay.
Wait, you got the Mojo working. Okay.
Exactly.
Wait. What Gary said, these Moto phones are easy to break? No.
Not mine. Not mine.
Nah.
Yeah, Gary's probably just rough, so I guess we probably shouldn't mess with him,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not taking my Moto phones and throwing like a frisbee, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I haven't had any Moto phones broke on me. And I've had the G5 Plus, the G6 Plus, I have the G7 Plus right here. So.
Yeah, and her G5, Emily's phone is still going quite well. So
exactly. All right.
Sorry, I got carried away.
And of course, we never get carried away with anything.
No. So what's this one?
All right. So you're going to read this Apple and Samsung?
Yeah. Let me.
Mike, did you see the one that we added, the T-Mobile?
No.
Okay, I'll do that one at the end. Then I guess.
Okay. All right.
Where we go? Here we go. Oh yeah, I did see this story.
You don't forget to share it, Mike.
Yeah, hold on. Share screen. Yeah. Chrome tabs.
Now, Mike, next week this is you, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, at least you'll be familiar with it.
Yeah. Is it on the screen, fellas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Apple and Samsung struggle to sell super pricey smartphones.
And this is on cnet.com.
We're just not that into paying $1,000 for a phone anymore.
Exactly.
So this is interesting because we just got done talking about the Pixel phone.
Yep.
And that's going to be a lot of money. And we have a Note 10 coming out. That's going to be a lot of money.
Yep.
A lot of money. Well, wait a minute. Actually, no. They're going to have a price that's a lot of money, and they're going to say, trade in your last year's phone. We'll give you, $700 and earbuds and a watch.
They'll take this year's phone. They want anything.
Yeah.
They want whatever you'll give them.
So let me. I'll start reading the story. Smartphone makers, led by Samsung and Apple, have been jacking up prices over the last few years. Consumers, however, Consumers, however, have been pushing back, and now there is new data showing it's harder than ever to compete in the ultra premium tier of phones. Apple and Samsung this week reported earnings for June's quarter that didn't convey much optimism in a high-end phone market. In Apple's case, iPhone sales dropped 12% from previous year, and its overall net income tumbled 13%. Analysts believe the iPhone XR, the company's cheapest new model at $749, has become the most popular than the Apple's $999 iPhone XS and the $1,099 iPhone X Max. At the same time, people are holding off on purchases as they wait for the iPhone 11 to arrive in September. Samsung's overall handset sales, meanwhile, rose. Wait a minute, am I reading this right? Samsung's overall. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I thought it was doom and gloom here.
You're right.
Okay, Samsung's overall handsets, meanwhile, rose about 7% to 24.3 trillion won, which is about 20 billion. And the company increased its lead in the global phone market share by 2 percentage points to 22%, according to Strategy and Analytics.
But the next sentence is the key here.
But the gain was largely because of Samsung's cheaper A series devices. Shock. Okay. I was thinking before I even saw that part, my eyes are going line by line. Right. And I'm like, I'm thinking back on my mind, wait a minute, they just dropped a whole bunch of A series all over at least North America.
And that's how they're making money.
And this is all going to tie into George's story next.
Next story.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the gain was largely because of Samsung's cheaper A series devices. Its mobile operating profit was 42% less than a year ago, and revenue from the Samsung's flagship S lineup, which starts at $750 for the S10e, dropped because of weak sales momentum for the Galaxy S10 and stagnant demand for premium products, Samsung said.
Yep.
If you're what's that? Exercised by
any semblance of fiscal
fiscal responsibility. These results should shock you.
Shouldn't
shock you. Thank you. Phones prices have been increasing, and people are upgrading less often. If someone is buying a $1,000 phone with all the bells and whistles, they can't imagine they can imagine they trend to hold onto it longer than before. In the U.S., consumers now upgrade to a new model every 3 years instead of every 2. At the same time, software updates make older phones feel new. Hey, hardware designs aren't changing much from year to year. Surprise, I've said that before. And less expensive devices are getting features previously found in only a pricey flagship phones. For many people, that's good enough. Innovation is more on software side than hardware side. I said that before. Sorry.
Yes, you did.
I'm sorry.
Okay, Mike.
I'm just anyway. Creative strategies. Yeah, creative strategies analyst Carolina
Milanese.
Thank you.
I happen to follow her on Twitter, so.
Okay. The lifespan of a device lengthens because you're getting so much more from it. Right there about the software updates too. That's really square on the eye of Apple. Personally, I mean the Android stuff, yeah, it's getting better, but it's nowhere near like how Apple does it.
Well, Apple is driving the increasing prices, that's for sure.
Well, making people
the Galaxy Fold, of course.
Right, but I'm talking about that. Go ahead, Will.
What do you mean?
What I mean is, if somebody has an iPhone 6s,
mm-hmm.
they. All right, I know. I'm just saying. I know they're not going to get any more updates. But for how many years that person had an iPhone 6s for all this time, or the SE model, or even the 7? You know what I mean? I know a coworker. I know of a coworker. I thought he got a new phone because it went from the small one to the larger one. And he showed me. I couldn't help myself. He was showing me a picture of his kid. All right. But of course, my eye went to where he wanted the Metro PCS, because that's what it said up there. And he probably walked in and said, "I need a new phone." Oh, you got the 6S Plus? That big phone? Yeah, I'll take that. He had no desire. Now, probably they got him that phone to next to nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, that the price of the device, he's not looking. He was looking at probably not spending any money or little money on a phone, and I guess safe to say that phone was probably really, really, really next to nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, the two devices, both the cheapest versions of their flagship lineup, are proving to be popular with buyers.
Okay, got you.
Did I jump somewhere?
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay. This person said, let me see. Who's this? Canales said, the iPhone XR was the silver lining in Apple's otherwise weak June quarter iPhone sales. The research firm estimated that devices counted for about 38% of Apple shipments in May, and Apple CEO Tim Cook said the company benefit from in-store trade-ins and finance programs, which, you go to apple.com right now and you look, the first thing that pops up is, trading your iPhone, and you get an iPhone XR for $449 or $499.
Yeah.
So people like me are saving Samsung and Apple because we're buying the cheaper ones.
Right. But it's not just the discounted versions of the flagships that are getting more popular in their pricey than the pricey siblings. In the case of Samsung, it's the company's Galaxy A lineup that is attracting buyers. As Samsung noted, its overall smartphone shipments increased from its first to second quarter because strong sales of the new Galaxy A series, including the A50 and the A70. Many of those devices have features similar to found in Samsung's pricier phones, and some have characteristics not found in the S and the Note lines. For $350, you can buy a Galaxy A50 for Verizon and other networks. The device includes a 6.4-inch display, 3 cameras on the back. Both use features found in the S10 Plus, which starts at $1,000. Is there an A80 here in the States, or is that?
Jay Will has had it. If it was a little less money, I would have got that. But it looks like a great phone to me. But yeah, Jay Will has done a number of videos on it.
The Galaxy A80 became first and so far the only Samsung phone to sport a rotating pop-up camera. Okay, that's that one. Launched in April. The phone's sole camera array automatically flips around when toggled into selfie mode, and contains a 48 megapixel main camera and an 8 megapixel ultra wide and time of flight sensor that can be used for facial recognition. The A80 also has an intelligent battery that learns your daily routine and app usage patterns to optimize the phone's power consumption. No Samsung flagship devices can have a swivel camera, but the battery smarts appear in the Galaxy S10.
Right.
The Galaxy Note 10, which Samsung's going to introduce next week in an event in New York, isn't expected to be a huge leap from its predecessor, but should appeal to the Note's diehard fans. It's unclear just how many will shell out $1,000 to upgrade it. Probably won't have a pop-up camera. It just will be one less port in it, a headphone jack.
Yeah, well, that'll be out next Wednesday.
Samsung also plans to finally release a tweaked Galaxy Fold, their first foldable phone for major electronic from a major electronics company in September. After fixing problems that plagued the earlier review units, it is going to boast its 5G smartphone lineup to take the lead in a new market. None of these devices will come cheap, but Samsung counts on them to help them revitalize phone sales. The reality, though, is the company's cheaper phones may just win the day. The new devices for A10 to A80 account for more than 50% of Samsung's shipments in Q2. Wow. They expect to drive volume growth for Samsung for the rest of the year.
Yep.
It goes on talking about 5G, but that's just something.
The smartphone boom is over. And
it's over.
Everybody knows that. Now, those of us who love certain phones, me with certain phones, you with Motos, and me with Motos too, yeah, we're still going to buy our phones, but the huge boom that they had for 5, 6 years, that's gone. And they know it's gone, so.
Yeah.
And I still like to know, now we have these MVNOs. Are they going to be able, I see them as always been the cheaper option and nothing against them. So how are they going to roll out the 5G? Right, they're going to be the last ones. So that means they're going to still put out 4G phones.
Yeah, but hasn't there already been a couple of phone makers that make a little bit cheaper phones already going to 5G or about to come out with 5G?
Mike, why do you think they're going to be the last ones to 5G if they're using the same networks?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be the last ones because they got phones, right?
I think they're going to be the last ones. I think they're going to get the lower. They're going to get the priority right away.
Yeah, but
it's a premium market. It's a premium phone, premium service.
But Mike, it's not like a. Okay, let's say Visible, right? Verizon has had 5G coming. Right. Visible is, of course, they're not going to be like, yeah, we have 5G now at the same time as Verizon because Verizon is not going to. Listen. Verizon is not going to let them get on the network yet. But what do you think, that they're just going to go away? Because even if
they're not going to go away, no, they're not going away.
Let's say Verizon's 5G costs $100, right, a line to get their 5G plan or whatever. Visible might come in and be like, ours is 75, but your data is capped at this, or your speed or whatever. So it's still going to be the same like it is now. The big companies aren't going to let them get on the first.
Few buyers, because people that go there are not looking to play Verizon prices, and 75 would still be kind of high for most of those people, I think.
Well, I'm just making up a number, George. What I'm saying is,
yeah, I think your number's pretty realistic, though.
And then. Like we know 5G, but who really cares? Like, I'm not gonna.
Wait. Let me say this. If there's a carrier like Visible that's on Verizon network, I get you what you're saying. Okay, and they offer still $40 for 4G.
Yeah.
A year from now. Meanwhile, Verizon is going all in on 5G.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going? And they want $80, $90.
I'll stay on 4G.
Me too.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Good point,
that's what everybody's going to see. Again, like going back to my friend who got an iPhone 6S. He has no care. The only luxury he got was he went from a small iPhone to a big iPhone. Yeah, and he probably got it for $20.
But the thing is, most people don't even really know nothing about 5G, and
they don't.
The other people like us, we know about it or whatever, but is it really gonna, like for me and you, we're not gonna be getting no 5G speeds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think there's going to be eventually 5G will come to MVNOs, but it ain't going to come as where the premium side of the carrier is going to get it first.
But I don't even think it's. I don't know. To me, I don't even think it's that. I don't think people aren't really asking. It's not. I don't see people saying, "Oh, I really need 5G." I don't think people care. Just like the
people don't care. No, people don't care.
But
what they care about is seeing that price point. I can get unlimited data for $40.
Yeah, just so like that article we just read.
Mike, let's say you have T-Mobile. Let's say T-Mobile came out and was like, "Yeah, we have 5G." But
I have T-Mobile, by the way.
You get 10 gigs of data, and we throttle you or whatever. And then they had an option of 4G unlimited. What would you pick?
Yeah, I know. I'm with you, George. I got two.
You know what I mean, Mike? What would you choose?
What would I pick? What would I pick?
Yeah.
My son could care less, as long as he can get his rock and roll and his movies.
I gotta agree with Mike.
Yeah.
Okay. My son, I know what I got to pay for. I'm not going to pay extra money so my son can go do all the same things just because he could do it an eighth of a second faster.
Yeah. And Mike, that's only in certain areas.
True.
Yeah, I'm just saying, and
it goes be awfully close to the tower too.
Well, and that's the other thing. What's going on with that too? Right now the best thing for everybody is to stick with the 4G, especially for us fortunate folks that are living in the Northeast.
Yep.
Okay. I feel bad for people who live in the sticks. You know what I mean? But for the masses who are living in this area, I just don't see a big thing for 5G just yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a while off. I agree with Mike.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might find people in New York, in Manhattan, going crazy over it, but I bet you go to the Bronx and Brooklyn, you're not going to find it so much.
I just don't see. I mean, I know it's good. I know it's going to be a good thing. I know it's going to be a good thing in the end. But money talks.
Yeah. And you weren't far off, Will. Gary says Verizon wants $90 for their unlimited.
Yeah, he's saying regular unlimited. That's not even 5G, right? Because if just like I was saying,
he means 5G.
I was saying last week that 5G is a whole different plan.
Yeah, I'm thinking he means 5G, but I could be wrong.
Because that guy who was on Twitter, he had a lot of. He couldn't even buy the 5G phone without being on the 5G plan.
Right. Yeah, you got the one goes with the other.
Yeah, which is stupid, but because that's the thing, and that's messed up because Samsung made a different phone with different specs.
Yeah,
like a bigger battery, and you can't get that without. You know what I mean? That's messed up.
Yeah. See, Gary is saying that's 5G in 2023.
Yeah, so that's
just in time for Dish to be on the board.
Yeah. All right, let me see. I'll take the next one, George, so you can close out with your story.
Okay.
Last one. Okay, Mike, we added this one. You didn't. I guess you didn't see it. We caught this at the end right before we went on. It says T-Mobile's merger hits another hurdle. The argument that it will prevent.
Did you share?
Oh yeah, let me share it. I always forget. I'm so used to just clicking the article.
Yeah, you can't just Sunny. You got to share.
I'm so used to There we go. T-Mobile's merger hits another hurdle. The argument that it will prevent future Apples. Back in June, a number of state attorney generals plus the District of Columbia filed a lawsuit in New York seeking to block the formation of the new T-Mobile after its merger with Sprint. The argumentation is that the merger will raise prices by $4 to $5 billion a year or more in the longer run, despite T-Mobile's pledge that it will freeze its pricing for 3 years after the deal closes. Even though the last regulatory hurdle, the Department of Justice signed off on the deal with the condition that Dish will buy Boost and form a fourth carrier. That Attorney General lawsuit will have to be resolved somehow if things are to proceed. The plaintiffs are now asking for the trial to be postponed from October 7th to December 9th with the argument that they need more time to acquaint themselves with all the Department of Justice, Dish, T-Mobile settlement details. The New York Attorney General Letitia James chimed in on last week's Department of Justice stamp of approval with the following. I remain deeply concerned about the T-Mobile Sprint mega merger and the irreparable harm it will cause to millions across the country. Despite approval from the Department of Justice, the deal is bad for consumers, innovation, and workers. This deal is based on speculative promises and will increase prices for consumers and greatly reduce competition. The American people deserve access to affordable, reliable wireless service, and this deal is not the answer. While this may seem like another boilerplate statement in the same antitrust vein, another player has now entered the fray. The consumer protection and privacy obsessed Electronics Frontier Foundation Their argument is actually broader than the one in the Attorney General's suit. 5G services can reach U.S. internet users without the merger. The means of delivering those services is through government-regulated licenses. Those licenses can be modified with new policies to promote competition and access. In particular, instead of approving anti-competitive mergers, the government could simply change the terms of licenses it gives companies for their use of spectrum, the radio frequencies used to transmit services. If the U.S. market is allowed to consolidate into 3 national carriers, future apples will have fewer parties to negotiate with, and there will be a greater reduction in risk taking. Advancements from manufacturers in areas such as cognitive radios and other means to utilize spectrum in new and dynamic ways will have to hope that one of the 3 carriers will engage productively with them. But that is exactly what mergers tend to diminish. It is well accepted in antitrust law that a smaller number of players have a greater propensity to behave like one another. They have fewer competitors to maneuver around and fewer reasons to rock the boat.
That's probably true.
The Department of Justice offers no solution to this outcome other than to say that Dish Network, which is acquiring a handful of assets from T-Mobile and Sprint, should hopefully fill the void despite having no wireless broadband customers and no infrastructure to serve them. Such blind trust in a non-existent competitor to do a good enough job to compete with massive entrenched incumbents is questionable at best. Ultimately, it argues in favor of denying the merger. Now it is up to the courts to decide if this merger can proceed. 10 state attorney generals have sued to block this merger, and they will make the case that what Sprint and T-Mobile is attempting is illegal. The difference this time is that unlike the last time, the federal and state governments blocked the wireless telecom merger. That was when they challenged AT&T's and T-Mobile's merger in 2011. The Department of Justice and FCC will be on the side of the monopolists in the courtroom.
The monopolists, boy, that's cold, man.
As you can see, there's plenty for the courts to sift through here. The new arguments against the merger keep piling up. Whether or not these actions against the Department of Justice approval of the deal will bear fruit remains to be seen. But one thing is for sure, the merger of T-Mobile and Sprint will not be happening this year.
I agree.
So this is like didn't they just got approval from the DOJ?
From the DOJ, but now these people are asking
like an injunction,
right? And they're asking that there was going to be a trial on October 7th. They're asking it to be pushed to December 9th, which means that ain't going to happen this year. Yeah. So because the merger can't go through until they settle this lawsuit, and this lawsuit is coming from what, 9 different states?
Yeah, this is going to be never ending.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys catch. I just caught a Sprint commercial, and the guy from that guy says, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
If he looks, he's poking fun at the other 2 guys, AT&T and Verizon, but not one word. He makes comment about T-Mobile. It's blue in the background, and the Verizon, the big V, the red tone. You know what I mean? You don't see nothing. And none of the people comment. I'm just noticing it, like on what do you call that, on Twitter? There's you don't see Legier beating up on Sprint on anything. You don't hear anything, and none of them.
Yep.
So
yeah, they're this. I don't know. I kind of agree with them. I mean, it is going to be messed up. Me and George were talking about it before, Mike.
Yeah.
Think about how long it took for Sprint to build up their network back when they were, they were actually competing, and they went all the way down to number 3.
Yeah.
And this whatever they're going to call themselves is supposed to just be a 4th carrier like that. You know what I mean? Like they're basically
got up to number 3, and then as soon as John Legier took over, T-Mobile passed them right up and pushed them to number 4.
They're basically just becoming Sprint again. You know
exactly.
What I mean? It's like they're just there to be a placeholder because they said there has to be 4. They're
right.
Just, like nobody's gonna go to Dish mobile or whatever they're gonna call it. What's the point? Like, I don't know. It's kind of it looks kind of crooked. the way it's
well, they're doing what the politicians insisted on.
Because it's going to be just like they're saying. T-Mobile is going to be like they're saying 3 years, and we'll see. But T-Mobile is going to just be like, all right, we're good now. We can keep our prices the same, and everybody's just going to make small changes here, small changes there. And it's going to be like it was all that time before T-Mobile came and started making everything, get a little better.
And of course, Will and I both agreed. Yeah, they're promising that prices won't go up for 3 years, but after the 3 years, what are companies going to do? They're going to jack it up.
Gary, can you hear me now, guys? Going to be can you all hire me, guy?
Yeah, it's going to be it's going to get bad soon, and this.
Well, by that time, he's going to be so old, he's going to have to say, "Can I hear you now?"
Yeah, really.
The one thing it was good though, I guess we can all go to prepaid. As long as your phone is unlocked, you're free to move around.
Yeah.
That might end up being a better deal in the long run.
Could be. Yep.
I guess, see, Mike, you're getting like a free line and all that. I guess.
Right. Yeah. That's the only thing I like T-Mobile anyway, but that free line is a big help. Big help.
Yeah. My fourth line's a free line,
So
you have how many T-Mobile lines, Mike?
3.
That many? So you're paying for 2. So your bill is decent then.
And I have 4, and I'm paying for 3.
And I got 2 tablet lines at $10 a pop. So
I guess that's not bad. I'm just thinking because what do you don't have any T-Mobile phones.
Yeah, I do.
You have one, right?
I got this. I'm riding this out.
You have one. I'm just trying to figure out what's the difference. So when you're done with that, what are you gonna do? You're still gonna keep because
what?
I don't know what you pay a month. I'm just trying to figure out what is your advantage of going with T-Mobile? I don't.
What right now?
Yeah,
40 hours per line.
Oh, okay, you have 4. Okay, so yeah, you're getting 1.
I have $40 per line, and I got a son that does 30 plus gigs of data.
Yeah,
he's never been capped.
He uses a lot of data.
Yeah, that's a ton of data.
Okay.
Did he not turn on Wi-Fi? Never.
Yeah, I beat it in his head. Well, I guess I had to give him a phone that was really crappy that he has to put on Wi-Fi when he was. I don't know if you saw that video that he did.
Yeah.
He says he showed me like walking from the parking lot to the house, you could see it just fluctuating. Yeah. He said part that he gets inside his apartment. So I always was on his case about turn on the Wi-Fi. Please turn on the Wi-Fi for a little bit, okay? And now he's on it. Yeah, it's not as much, but I will say though,
he's not like most of us. He just turns his Wi-Fi on, and most people just turn on their Wi-Fi and leave it on. And when it's
there are certain people that I know, George. There are people I know. I'm looking at Emily, and if my son was here, I'll be looking at him too. That refuse to turn on the Wi-Fi button.
Why?
They think one. I heard it drains the battery.
It's going to save you right off the bat.
They were, I think what my son says, it drains his battery. It doesn't do that.
No,
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I
never turn my Wi-Fi off. And I think most people don't.
I leave it on, and I pick and choose. If it's picking up somebody else's Wi-Fi, or I'm at a store that I don't want to be picked up, I'll just turn it off.
Exactly.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Are we ready to move on?
Well, you know what? We'll visit this conversation again about data and all. When a certain gentleman over here, I'm looking to the left over here, has his 2 kids on a phone. Okay. In about 10 years from now, we'll have this conversation. How much data your kids are using there? Will?
Okay. It's going to be 10 years. It's going to be 3 years.
Mike, Emily said her Wi-Fi is on right now.
There you go. Good for you, Emily.
I break them for her every chance I can.
Yeah, this is for Emily.
So she got you because you said her Wi-Fi was never on.
She was all over that.
Yes, she was. Good.
All right, we ready for our last story?
You got the last one. Then you can
All
tell
right.
me.
Is this the one?
This is about Xiaomi.
This is George.
Okay.
Okay, let me share my screen. And
No, I thought it had something. George had something to do
What
with
George
too.
did, this does.
Okay.
yes, okay. All right, I got the screen shared. Okay, this is over on AndroidPolice.com. Xiaomi stock has fallen almost 50% in the past year. Is the smartphone boom over? I just said that, didn't I? Xiaomi has generally been the poster child for the narrative that extols and marvels at the rise of China's young smartphone manufacturers globally. Like Huawei, Oppo, and Vivo, Xiaomi sells tons of millions of phones every year, and it does so at highly aggressive prices, often so low that they're a source of novelty in and of themselves for curious Westerners. But the company's stock tells a very different story of a Xiaomi that has failed to capitalize on its advantages and is now worth less than a social media network best known for its memes and the ramblings of one very angry president. At the end of its most recent day of trading, Xiaomi stock was down to around $1.15 a share, just a hair above half of what it debuted on its first day of the market nearly a year ago. As a result, Xiaomi's total market capitalization is around $28 billion. Twitter's, still far from its historic peaks, is over $32 billion. While you'd be perfectly right to point out that market capitalization is a somewhat illusory measure of worth, it's also one of the few that so summarily and tidily offers estimate as to what the market thinks a company is worth. And that's my problem with markets in general. It's always somebody's guess. And at this point, the measure for Xiaomi seems pretty concrete. The stock's price has steadily and consistently declined over the past year with very little fluctuation. That suggests most investors don't see a bright future for a company many thought was poised to take over the smartphone as a commodity market. The question is why? I won't claim to have all the answers. And when you're talking about a corporation that makes and sells products through hundreds of verticals in dozens of countries around the world, which are then subject to their own micro and macroeconomic forces, things can get complicated quickly. Equally to blame, individual phone models or one particular decision by the company is unhelpful. Knee-jerk stock movements perhaps can be attributed to such things, but not long-term trends. Looking at the basic financials, Xiaomi isn't doing terribly either. The company has reaped a net profit for the last 4 consecutive quarters. What we do know about the smartphone market what do we know about the smartphone market that could cause a company like Xiaomi to fail, though? For one, we know it's plateauing. In 2017 and 2018, the global smartphone market actually shrunk. And in 2018, the rate of shrinkage actually increased. The data we have to date shows this trend isn't abating in 2019 either. I should point out that's not just for Xiaomi, that's for everybody. That's seriously bad news for a company that has positioned itself as driven by the expansion of the global smartphone market to new regions and demographics. Xiaomi has relied on the notion that global smartphone sales would grow and create an ever larger pie to slice up. Now that trend is reversing, that's true. There's also the continued pressure Xiaomi has faced from competitors, some old like Huawei and its Honor Some brand, and some new like Apple's Realme, which seeks to directly undercut Xiaomi's Redmi line. This isn't to mention Vivo, Samsung, LG, and the various regional brands available in India and China, Xiaomi's largest markets. The competition didn't take long to figure out what Xiaomi was doing right and copy it, and that's what nailed them, I think. And it turned out what Xiaomi was doing wasn't actually very special, building smartphones with good components and then pricing them to razor thin margins. And of course, even Samsung is doing that now. Xiaomi has long placed its hat on the promise of the ecosystem, the notion that customers would buy products which bore the Mi logo, but often were produced in partnerships with other companies who agreed to sell their products through Xiaomi's various web storefronts. The logic went that by assuring customers the products came at a good value and were certified to work with their smartphone, brand loyalty could be achieved. From rice cookers, TVs, vacuums, and smart projectors to air fresheners, yes, really, and hand towels, again, yes, really. Xiaomi would have a Mi ecosystem product to cover every base. Yeah, the air fresheners and hand towels threw me off, but I guess they must sell them. But in a world where consumer information availability is at an all-time high, it was hard to ever fully understand how Xiaomi would convert smartphone sales into a global branded retail empire. I recall going to a briefing. This is very telling. I recall going to a briefing in which I asked the company to explain this model and how it would succeed globally, only to receive borderline nonsense in reply. And when it comes to the company's services, in a world full of highly competitive online and cloud options for consumers, which are all accessible on Xiaomi's own phones, the same problem arises. Why choose Xiaomi? I never got an answer. This, I think, gets to the heart of the issue. Xiaomi isn't as special as all the hype it initially received suggested. Xiaomi makes a commodity, smartphones, and it makes them very well. I agree. And perhaps in China, its ecosystem of products and services are compelling and competitive enough to truly stand apart. But in the rest of the world, particularly in the West, online retail, services, and consumer products at large are highly evolved industries, in which Xiaomi's core commodity facing a shrinking market, it seems less likely that its repeated promises to come to America will be realized, even as it now attempts to move into Europe. Xiaomi then may be priced by investors as what it increasingly seems to be, just another company building affordable smartphones. And Mike, the way this ties into me, I bought a Xiaomi phone today. The reason being that
because he had to get back to number 19.
I have the Mi A1, I have the Mi A2, and today I bought the Mi A3, and bringing them to America. Both Jay, Will, and I have both said all along, these phones work great on T-Mobile, has all the bands, they work great, and you know it because you had one for your son. And there is no problem with these phones. The fact that, I go on Amazon, I buy the unlocked global version, and that's what I did with both of these, and both of these phones work great. And of course, they have the new 48 megapixel camera, and what did it cost me? $249. Am I going to complain about that? No. And that's how Xiaomi, and their Android One phones, which means they're stock Android. That's why I buy the Xiaomi Mi A1, A2, and A3. So
how many gigs? 64 gigs?
4 gig.
I mean,
Just like these.
4 gigs of RAM with 64 gigs of memory.
64 gigs of memory.
Yeah. Well, the only problem I mean, the 32 gig one I gotten for me and my son.
Right.
That's his problem.
I remember he was running out of space. So both of mine are 64 gig, and I've never had a problem with either one. But of course, I don't go through data the way your son does either.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, he puts music and Robbie's put music and podcasts and stuff on it. So I just haven't had a chance to give him. I told him. I actually ran into him at Walmart yesterday. I said, "Listen, I got a phone for you. Surprise is up. You gotta come over, my brother. You gotta come over, my brother, and get the phone, okay?"
Mike's like, last week I was on the edge. I was about to throw it away.
No, I wouldn't do that. No.
Big house and Xiaomi for the win. Yeah, he agrees with me in big letters. Yes, George. Yeah, I love the Xiaomi Mi A1 and A2, and I'm probably going to love the A3. But yes, the article is right, but it's not. Xiaomi was coming up hard and fast in 2017. But then things started turning around, but not just for them, for everybody, including Apple and Samsung. And so them being one of the, they're not up there with Apple and Samsung, so sure, they're going to suffer. And I think their stock is suffering more than their actual phone businesses because they're still making money, even last quarter. So,
what they say their stock is down to, George? $1.15.
$1.15, yes.
Got to go buy some of that in case they turn around.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
In case they turn around,
yeah,
you never know. That'd be a good come up.
Yep. So anyway, yes, the article is totally right that they're suffering from what the entire phone industry is. The boom.
Well, also, finally, Samsung, I think, also woke up and said, "Hey, look, we're missing something here," and it's all those other market.
Yeah, that's what the article said. All the other companies started copying Xiaomi. Well, so did Samsung, and the only way Samsung's making money is with those phones, the cheaper phones. And of course, this is what made Xiaomi famous. They make really good, cheap phones.
So, yeah, and everybody else is doing it now.
Everybody else is doing it, so now they have no advantage anymore.
Now this is going to be to see what they do next. What's their next? It's not going
to be them. It's going to see what all of them are going to do next because they all need to do something, including Apple and Samsung.
Well, we already know Apple's not doing nothing. Apple's
they're going to have to at some point because
what they're doing is trying to get into services, and they're. I was talking to Telus the other day, and Apple's problem is I don't know. It's like people don't want to pay that cost anymore to get their service. Like, let's say an Apple TV. An Apple TV might be $100 or $100-something.
Yeah, but when I saw the pricing, I'm like, forget that for me.
You can get a Chromecast for like $35.
Give me my Chromecast and my YouTube TV, I'm good to go.
Or a Roku box for
exactly
$40. You know what I mean? And they do the same thing. So, and now with Apple putting Apple TV is going to be on the Roku box and on smart TVs. So I guess the Apple TV itself is going to be, what are they going to do? What are they going to do to make you want to spend double the money?
Exactly. And how do I have Roku? Well, I have a Best Buy TV. Well, Roku was built right into it, so I've got the Roku right there.
What's the other thing? Now it's like they're late going to services. Like now that their hardware is overpriced. Everybody knows their hardware is expensive, so
exactly
to be able to go get something that does the same thing for a third of the price or half the price, even if it's something small like the streaming the TV, or look at the HomePod. The HomePod is $300.
Yeah, I know.
If you go buy a HomePod and compare it to the Google Home Max, they're both $300. They're both a speaker, but Apple's is locked in.
Yeah,
only using it with Apple. Why would you buy that over?
Google one you can use with anything you want.
And Google's you can plug external audio into the back of it.
Exactly. So Big House is saying he has the Xiaomi Redmi Note 7 for his wife, and he uses the Mi Max 3. Great devices. And that's the thing. If you have, to me, like me and Big House and Jay Will, if you have used Xiaomi devices regularly, you start liking Xiaomi. And I just Jay Will does. Obviously, Big House does. Yeah.
And then like that's the problem. And they're trying to do the services. It's like they got an uphill climb.
Well, but their pricing Apple's pricing is just ridiculous. They're doing like they do with the phones.
It's always but their pricing's always been high. But I think the problem now is that people are like, I can use my phone for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years.
Right.
So without doubt.
They're not willing to, and that's the thing. Apple had nothing else. Their hardware was their thing.
The whole thing, Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying,
like you said, the other company has dish towels. Apple has no product that's cheap.
Right.
You know what I mean? They have nothing that's cheap. Their cases. If you buy an Apple case from the store, it's like $50.
I don't think Apple will ever have anything that's cheap.
So but when you say you see what they're gonna do, they're not gonna change. I can't see Apple. Apple already tried. Apple tried with the 5C and the SE. They're not gonna go back to that. Not here, I don't think.
The SE had some mild success. The 5
Yeah, I think the
Yeah.
SE did good, but I don't think they're gonna go back to that here. I think the R is gonna be their new SE, but it's still
it is going to be right.
But it's still high price.
Right.
The price on it isn't cheap.
And I think that's the way to go, because what phone outsells all the other Apple phones? Well,
yeah, but what I'm saying to you is just the price is still high. Like, you know what I mean? The price of it
high compared to the other Apple phones.
But the thing is, this is the one thing Apple doesn't have.
6.
Let's
right there,
say
6.
Mike bought one.
Oh, I bought 2, by the way. I bought 2.
I wish I would. I told you could have came and took mine. I never even took it out of the little thing that it comes in.
I use them all the time.
You could have took mine. The problem, the thing that Apple does have is they kind of lock you in. Like, if you use Apple services and your iPhone breaks and you use, let's say, Apple Notes or whatever, you're locked into that. So, but the problem is when you go to the store. Let's say you haven't bought a phone since the 6S, and you go to the store and see that the cheapest iPhone you can get is $750. That's crazy. But I don't know. I don't know. Apple, I don't know what they're gonna do.
Well, are they still making the iPhone 7s new?
I don't think so. No. 8
is a new. Okay.
Yeah, like the cheapest. Well, yeah, I guess you can get an 8.
That's what I mean. That's the cheapest iPhone.
You can get an 8. Yeah,
you can get 8 brand new from Apple.
5 for 5 something. So I guess that's not bad. Yeah, I guess that's not bad. I guess.
So why do you need? Why you need it?
I guess that'll you don't need the R. I guess that'll be the budget. But what are they gonna do next year?
Well, that's what it keeps on falling. It keeps on falling off. You know what I mean? The 10, the XS is going to be the next.
Unless they do like they did with the X. With the 10, where they stopped selling it. Remember when they came out with the XS, or the 10S, whatever, they stopped selling the 10. Remember? And the prices of them flew through the roof on Swapper because you couldn't get it no more.
Right. Yeah. So, I was going to just wrap up. Getting close to the end. Just wanted to. There's something that caught my eye, and for some reason it didn't fall on the show notes. You guys didn't get to see it, but it's a nice video. I'll get it out to you guys. Carl Pei, is that how you say his last name?
Hey, yes.
He's in some kind of conference for Forbes 30 on 30 and Forbes Asia 30 on 30.
Okay.
Carl Pei's 29.
That's all he is.
You know that? Okay. He's 29.
Okay. Well, hey, how old are the guys that made StreamYards? I bet you they're both younger than that.
Yeah. I just can't get over it. Well, the video,
genius. I don't care. It doesn't have an age.
No, I know. But man, God bless him, man, to be able to at this age to figure everything out and say, I'm going to make a phone company. Exactly. You know what I mean? I'm going to build my own phone.
And guess what he did?
What did he do?
He figured out how to make us pay.
Will cut his camera off. Cut his mic off. You're in the penalty box for 5 minutes on that one. 5-minute penalty.
Yeah, right.
Unnecessary. What's emotion? Unnecessary. Okay. Something, man.
He was waiting for that one. He was. As soon as you said his name, he was thinking of that.
He was licking his chops. Yeah. Wow. So anyway, it's just the beginning of the piece. Basically, he talks about how he felt how Android products were and how they weren't. They should. What he thought he envisioned them, and how he started his company in December 2013.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting how the comments go how the conversation goes from there. Should I say? You know what? I got it. I could share. I got to remember that. I could share. Let's see here. Share screen. Chrome tab.
That's my mind. There we go. Maybe I'll be there to shake your hand. Maybe I'll be there to share the love. Okay.
He better not have tweeted from an iPhone. Yeah, did you see that? Robert Downey Jr. got caught using a P30 Pro.
Make it bigger, Mike. Make it a little larger.
Okay. Yeah, that was. How did they catch him doing that, though?
There you go.
How did they catch him doing that?
I don't even know what you got.
He must have been on Twitter. Robert Downey. Remember, he signed a deal to be the spokesperson for.
Right. So what?
And
He got caught using a P30.
Yeah, a Huawei P30.
Okay.
Which is impressive. At least it wasn't an iPhone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just see all those guys, all those actors with the iPhone happy. You know what I mean?
They say P30 takes the best pictures in the world, even over the Pixel.
It says here the OnePlus was immediate hit among tech community online. Following a few years of blockbuster sales through e-commerce channels, his team is taking on a new challenge, shifting from direct to consumer models to distribute through telecom carriers.
Right.
And in his conversation, he talks about, it's being a challenge to him. It seemed like it's difficult for him to get the recognition, and he definitely acknowledges the tech community that's out there. That's what made his company successful is
reputation.
Us, us people.
Yeah.
And he recognizes in that video that it's hard to get the name recognition, especially with the Apples and the Samsungs.
Right.
But
it works with it's working with T-Mobile.
Well, yeah. Is it working, George? Is it really working? I mean,
they've had the best sales they've ever had in the history of their company by a whole lot.
But is it because of the T-Mobile brand, or is it because they're selling a OnePlus 7 in India?
No, it's because their sales in the United States is by far the best they've ever had, by a whole lot.
All right, I don't know. We get.
When you walk into the T-Mobile store now, you see Apple, Samsung, and OnePlus.
Right, you do. Yeah, OnePlus has their own little section. Right, but what I'm saying is, us techies talked about it before. People all said that, when you go to the T-Mobile store, you ask the salesman, who's buying it, and the general consensus is it's mostly the techies are buying it.
Well,
not.
My T-Mobile store, the guy was telling me last week that people are buying the phone.
We get excited. Hey, we get excited about when we see a Pixel 3a out in the wild. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
We go, wow, what's that out there? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
But anyway, so I agree with him about the telecoms because it's starting to work, and that's the way to go.
It's the only way to. It's the only way to go. I mean, you can only rely on the tech community well, he was the one that came out with a very interesting way of pushing his products. Well, like get a ticket. Was it like a ticket or he limited how many?
Everybody hated that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did all kind of crazy stuff. Break your old phone and send us a video.
That was their way of not having a whole bunch of supply that didn't sell. They were making the phones based on the invitations coming through.
Invitation, that's what it was. Yeah, that's what he called it.
Yep.
I don't know, George, you see the last line. The 29-year-old weighs in on the future of 5G and the impact of the company's product offerings.
Cool.
But it doesn't really go into anything else after that. But it was very interesting to see him. I got a sense the way he was having his conversation when he watched the video of him actually like having. Yeah, it's been a little difficult. It's something that they're trying to figure out still.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
but it's gotten better, And the fact that he's 29, I love it when young people are smart and successful. I love seeing people get ahead, especially if they're doing it with their own hard work. I love that.
So 2013, it's 2019 now. What is that? 6 years? 6 years ago. Wow, he was still a youngster. You know what I mean?
He was 23 years old.
Wow.
What were you saying, Will?
Dang, I can't remember.
I'm supposed to be the old one here.
I can't remember. I had a couple things going at the same time. I can't remember.
Do you remember? Okay.
I can't remember for real. I can't. I don't know. Oh well.
Oh wow.
It'll come back
Wh-
someday.
Yeah, he'll remember it about 1 o'clock at work. You know what I
Don't
mean?
wake up in the middle of the night.
That's what I was gonna say. That was a good thing to ask George. I can't remember, but
Okay. I'll wait.
oh yeah. So the folding phone. That's what I was saying.
Oh,
What do you think, George? Is it gonna be a bust?
yeah, I think it's going to be a bust because of the price. I think even if they have made the Samsung Galaxy Fold a wonderful phone, I think it's going to be a total bust because nobody's going to buy that thing at $1,980. And they're not even as good as Huawei's foldable phone because Huawei, at least that made theirs 5G.
I don't know what I was thinking.
Samsung phone isn't even 5G, and they want $2,000 for it. I mean, come on.
Now I know what I was thinking, George.
Yeah.
The foldable phone. Like I keep telling you, that folding screen mess shouldn't be in a phone. The same way Google is working on that chip, right? That solely chip.
Right.
When they started it, it was in the watch or whatever.
Right.
They put it in the phone.
Right.
Now, just like that article, when I was reading the article, it said something about soon it might be in a speaker. Or,
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's how Samsung should have approached that screen.
You're probably right.
They should have.
I don't think it's. I think if anybody buys one, it's going to be Huawei's because nobody's going to spend $2,000 for a phone that's not even 5G when 5G is the hot thing.
They should have put that. They should have put that technology into something like something bigger, like a laptop, or you know what I mean.
Yeah, Big House agrees with me.
The phone is I don't know. I can't see it selling either. But I
won't be surprised if Huawei's phone sells, and I'll bet you that Nigel is going to be one of the first ones to get one.
I don't know. Nigel might have a deterrent now.
That's true.
She might put the brakes on that for Nigel.
That's true.
Bill Hustle's in here. He wants to know who's picking up the Note 10. I know. Will's all over that. Will's going to be getting that.
I won't be getting one, but I never get it.
No, Mike, you missed it. He said who else is not picking up the Note 10?
Oh, not. I'm sorry.
Count me in the knots. You know.
And then Gary said they're releasing the Fold the same time as the new iPhone. They are? That's what I was about to say. When are they releasing that?
Well, it's in September, but does it matter? I mean, it's not going to compete with any phone.
I just think I don't know. They should just make that thing like you can only buy it on the website, and
that would probably be a smart thing to do.
Get a whole bunch of stuff with it, like speaker, a charger. You should get a whole bunch of stuff should come with it.
But I think this is just my personal opinion. I think as soon as the Huawei, I can't remember what the name of theirs is.
Wait,
the Mate X. As soon as the Mate X comes out, I'll bet you they're going to kill Samsung because at least they have a 5G foldable phone.
Hold up. We got Alan, Phone Tech at Work in the room, and they're streaming tonight at 10 o'clock. Whose channel are you guys on, Alan? I missed it.
Yeah, Alan.
You've been on in a while.
Because lately, all their streams have been on Rob's, right? On RPG Tech.
Alan, you could drop the link in there. I'm pretty sure everybody in here probably follows y'all already.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could drop the link if it lets you. I don't know.
Yeah, Big House says he likes the look of the Samsung A70. He said, if I were going to get one, and I don't want to spend the money, I would have gotten the A80. But
Mike, they posted that link somewhere, right? Didn't he pin it? Yeah, he pinned it.
Did he? On Telegram? I'll go check it out.
He didn't put the channel. He pinned that they're streaming, but I don't see.
That's all. Yeah.
Link.
Wait a minute. I just saw something. RP3 since he figured out the new streaming spot. I'm telling you, guys. I'm telling you, Alan. Just get the StreamYard. Do the StreamYard.
Oh, okay. Okay.
RP3. That's doing
RP3's channel. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's been doing them lately. So.
Yeah, StreamYard is nice.
Nigel saying 830 Pro 5G is the next device for him. No surprise there.
All right. Well, I guess we're done, right?
Yep.
So we can get off.
You're in charge.
Yeah, I guess we covered everything.
Yeah.
Team 100's coming on, so I'll be good tonight at work. I'll be able
okay. And remember, folks, next week we are on Mike's Simply Your Device channel.
Yeah, we are on Mike's channel next week. I'm trying to see if he has the stream ready.
Mills, real quick, put a comment in. Where'd you get your Galaxy S9 for $50? Oh, wait a minute, what?
He signed a contract, remember?
2-year contract.
Yeah, but who with who?
Okay.
I'm just curious.
Oh, he said $350, not $35. Okay.
Oh, that's
All
right.
right.
Huh?
Oh,
How much?
yeah,
was
I saw $50.
I did too.
Yeah.
In the room, yeah.
In one of the rooms, yeah. U.S. Cellular at Walmart.
Great price. There's not a phone in the world that I'll go on a 2-year contract for anymore ever. That'll never happen again as long as I live.
I'm thinking he's just gonna
Let me pay it off. Yeah, pay it off. That $35 early termination.
To still get
only place to still get a 2-year agreement. Wow.
Yeah, I don't want a 2-year agreement. I stopped 2-year agreements 4 years ago. That'll never happen again.
It's not though. I think if you call AT&T on the phone, they'll give you a 2-year agreement. But no, matter of fact, you know what? You do have to. Well, no, they do. They give you a 2-year agreement and they take a little bit off the price of the phone.
Yeah, because they want you locked in. Yeah, they got to lock
make payments on the phone, but they give you that agreement.
Nobody's locking me in. I did that for years and years. I'm not doing it anymore.
I thought he said $50. I said for $50, it's worth it.
No, wait. I think he did get it for 50, right?
In the room he was talking about
50, but I think if he wants to,
he said 350 right underneath that.
Nah, I'm saying, isn't he saying the 350 early termination?
No, I don't think so.
I
don't think so.
No, he what?
250, right?
I'm thinking he paid 350 as long as he signed up for a 2-year contract.
But if he cancels it, he pays 350. So he bought it for 400.
Oh, yeah, it could be. I don't know.
I don't know. Now I'm confused.
Welcome to the club.
All right.
He paid $50 for it. Okay, he paid $50 for it. If he cancels, he pays $350 early termination fee.
So he got it.
But right now it's for $50.
So he saved. Where do they go for it now, though?
Well, wait a minute.
But it's locked in for 2 solid years. That's the problem.
No, George, listen, George. If he cancels it tomorrow, he pays $350. So he still only paid $400 for the phone.
Well, that's true.
What I'm saying. What do they go for now?
That's true.
Yeah, but wait a minute. There goes Q3 coming right at you.
Right.
Yeah, Samsung's going to improve
that's
quarter
better.
next year. You know,
that's still better than paying.
You know what I mean?
That's still better than paying full price for the
That's true.
the phone. He
But
probably saved
like years to me, you've lost me completely.
And then wait, listen. And then if he wanted the Note 10, he could trade it in and get 6.
There you go.
Hopefully that's true.
Yeah. So, all right. It's almost 10 o'clock. Right?
I don't see the link for their stream. I don't think Rob got it up yet because it's not showing unless YouTube.
So check out our RP3 Tech Reviews right after us. You should see Team 100 there.
See everybody next week. George
on Mike's channel. Mike, you want to say your good night?
I'm Mike Dixon, Simplyyourdevice. Come next Friday onto my channel. Oh, by the way, there's going to be a new fresh new video coming out on Wednesday. Good night.
And of course, I'm MobileGeezer. You know where to find me on my YouTube channel. You find me on my website at mobilegeezer.wordpress.com. And of course, you'll find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So we'll see you next week on Mike's channel, folks, 8 o'clock Eastern Time.
All right.
See you.
Good night.
We'll woke up.
Good night. Good night.
Good night, folks.